What it do, YouTube peeps? So, bit of good news. I got a job, right, to start off 2021, right? Things were looking up for me. Things are looking up for me still. Since being laid off in March of 2020. So that's why I haven't been posting. Just been trying to, work though, get those hours in, and then come up with a really, a really nice schedule for myself. Because not only do I have that job now, and then plus I want to continue doing YouTube, I also stream on Twitch, which I am working my way up. I'm almost at affiliate. I'm almost there. So I get home yesterday after getting off work. I sit down and to watch the game, Saints and the Bucks, and then they show a guy that, like, the news. You know how during the commercials, the local news will show a little snippet. Oh, this is what to come after the game. And they showed some guys at the Capitol with guns, high-powered assault rifles, and I was like, oh boy, wow. So now I'm like, you know what? It's time to make a video and talk about the Capitol stuff. What happened there? And yeah, so I was just going through the tube, looking for some videos to react to, because I haven't watched a thing. I've been too busy working and streaming to watch anything. I think yesterday, when I watched football, was the first time I watched TV in a couple of months. I wouldn't say a couple of months, but for sure this year. That was the first time I watched TV this year. I still haven't watched Wonder Woman, even though I have HBO Max. I haven't watched Wonder Woman. So let's dive into this video. Now, this video is brought to us by MSNBC. This says, must-see new video shows Capitol riot was way worse than we thought. All in MSNBC. So let me enlarge this, and let's watch and talk afterwards. Let's record and headphones and play.
As the fog of mayhem dissipates, the full picture of the terror, the crisis that took place in the nation's capital on Wednesday is coming into focus.
Terror, yeah.
First of all, we should say this. There is a death toll which now stands at 5. We should note that is one greater than the number of Americans who died in the attack on the U.S. government buildings in Benghazi over 8 years ago. The last time an American government building was overrun by a rampaging and violent mob. That led to more than 2 years of investigations, dozens of congressional hearings. 4 of the people who were killed as a result of the Capitol attack appear to have been rioters themselves, one of whom was shot in the neck by police as she and others attempted to break into the Speaker's lobby just outside the House chamber, as you can see in this video. The most recent casualty of the mob, that the president and other Republicans incited, is Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick. He's a 42-year-old veteran. According to reporting, Officer Sicknick was struck with a fire extinguisher amidst the chaos on Wednesday. He succumbed to his injuries last night. And that means the U.S. Capitol is now the site of a homicide investigation, among other things. What we saw happen on Wednesday was the apparent murder of a police officer by members of a mob incited and directed to the Capitol by the President of the United States, who hoped they would successfully intimidate members of Congress out of certifying the rightful Democratic victory of his political opponent. We all watched this terrible spectacle unfold live on television. The images broadcast were largely not the most horrifying ones of the day. Much of what we saw, silly costumes, people taking selfies and grabbing the Speaker's lectern, looked kind of like a group that might even attend a Trump boat parade. But there was something way, way darker, more violent, more sinister, and more organized happening in that Capitol on Wednesday, and it's time we see it clearly. As crowds were gathering on the east side of the Capitol in the early afternoon, you'll remember that Republican Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri walked by giving a supportive fist bump on his way in to object to the Electoral College results, to vote against Pennsylvania, seating their electors who voted for Joe Biden. And after the rioters broke in, we got eyewitness accounts of people marauding through Capitol Hill looking for the vice president. A Reuters editor saying he heard at least 3 different rioters at the Capitol say they hope to find Vice President Mike Pence and execute him by hanging him from a Capitol Hill tree as a traitor. Indeed, one of the insurrectionists erected a gallows with a noose right outside the Capitol.
Wow.
This is a video of a crowd chanting, "Hang Mike Pence," while Pence, the vice president, was in the Capitol, had to be taken to a secure location because he had failed to do the thing that Donald Trump told that crowd of people, that mob, that Mike Pence had to do or face consequences, or face their wrath. Here's some more footage. This is of an AP photographer being attacked as he covered the riots. He gets shoved around the crowd as it descends on him. Eventually, he's pulled to safety by a cooler-headed Trump supporter, luckily, or Lord knows what would have happened to that man. We're also hearing firsthand accounts of the terror from other members of the press. Erin Schaff, staff photographer of the New York Times, writes that she was in the Capitol Rotunda when suddenly 2 or 3 men in black surrounded me and demanded to know who I work for. Grabbing my press pass, they saw that my ID said the New York Times and became really angry. They threw me to the floor trying to take my cameras.
Wow.
I started screaming for help as loudly as I could. No one came. People just watched. At this point, I thought I could be killed, and no one would stop them.
Right.
They ripped one of my cameras away from me, broke a lens on the other, and ran away. And then there are the deeply unsettling images of this guy in the Senate chamber.
Are those zip ties?
Dressed in full tactical gear, carrying plastic zip ties. As Dan Coys writes for Slate, those are actually flex cuffs, the plastic double restraints often used by police in mass arrest situations. They went into the Capitol as Congress was counting electoral votes, equipped to take hostages, to physically seize officials, and presumably to take lives. It is entirely possible that there were people in that crowd looking to apprehend and possibly harm and possibly murder the leaders of the political class that the president and people like Mo Brooks, and even to a certain extent Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley, have told them have betrayed them. And if you don't believe me, listen to them in their own words. I have to warn you, this video, which was licensed from a self-described civil rights activist, is disturbing.
Okay.
We want you to go home. I'm recording, and there's so many people. It's just, they're going to push their way up here. Bro, I see people out there get hurt. I don't want to see you get hurt. We will make a path dead ass. Like, we don't want. That's what I'm saying. We'll make a path, bro. Please, just let us make a path. Just let us make a path. When the whole country hates you. I want you to go home. Go. Let's go. Get this shit.
Another extremely disturbing video shows a crowd of Trump supporters trying to force their way in as officers, including one who is in serious distress, try to hold their ground. death toll from Wednesday's rampage stands at 5. Leaf's officer was killed. There's now an active homicide investigation into who murdered him, who the accomplices might be in that murder. The scale of evil that might have been done, the scale of death and destruction that might have been visited is almost impossible to comprehend. What would have happened if they had gotten to Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer or Mike Pence?
Right, right.
And this was unleashed by the president in no uncertain terms. Let's go back. On December 19th, Donald Trump tweeted, "Big protest in D.C. on January 6th. Be there. Will be wild." Speakers at that protest on Wednesday riled up the crowd. Rudy Giuliani called on them to settle the election via trial by combat. Republican Congressman Mo Brooks of Alabama said it was time to start, quote, taking down names and kicking ass. And then Donald Trump spoke to his supporters and laid it all on the table.
We're going to have to fight much harder, and Mike Pence is going to have to come through for us. And if he doesn't, that will be a sad day for our country. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them, because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong.
Take back?
You hear that threat to Mike Pence? He's going to have to come through for us.
Take back the country.
A mob that went on to the Capitol and searched for Mike Pence, saying they wanted to hang him. Well, at the same time that Donald Trump tweeted that Pence didn't have the courage to do what should have been done, they were roaming through that Capitol. Republican Senator Ben Sasser of Nebraska reported that Trump was delighted by the chaos as it unfolded at the Capitol. The Washington Post reports the Pentagon stood in the way of the National Guard being sent in to help. The president incited and facilitated a violent assault on Congress that resulted in 5 deaths, including the death of a Capitol Hill police officer. He must face legal consequences for those actions. Even though very few people were arrested on that day, we do know that some of the marauders and insurrectionists are now being apprehended by law enforcement, like this gentleman who put his feet up at a desk in Nancy Pelosi's office, and this West Virginia elected Republican delegate who live streamed on Facebook as he joined the mob storming through the Capitol.
Live streamed it on Facebook?
He was not the only professional Republican politician who was there. Here's former Pennsylvania congressional candidate Rick Saccone, who you may remember as the guy who lost a special election in 2018 in a district Trump won by 20 points, also posting on Facebook about storming the Capitol. But tonight, more than 48 hours after that mob stormed the Capitol, we still haven't gotten a full briefing from the Capitol Hill police on what the hell happened and who was injured and who was hospitalized and how. Everyone is piecing this together from reporting and video, and it's hard to put the full picture together.
I was not expecting them to show someone get shot. That caught me completely off guard. I was not expecting to see that. Like, I was trying to remember facts and, stuff about the video to talk about right after. But then when that dude got shot, and as they said, like, what would have happened if they got to Mike Pence and all the others? Possible execution. I mean, they would shout and hang them, right? So this is an act. That was an act of terror. That was terror. Okay? That's what that was. Now, one day driving to work, I heard on the radio that they have now made like 70 arrests. Even the Olympic swimmer who let me see, the Olympic swimmer arrest. I think he was. Did he show up to the protest in his Olympic jacket? I think that's what they said on the radio. The Olympic swimmer. Oh goodness, all these Olympic swimmer. Cleat, I don't know, Keller, arrested for involvement in a riot at U.S. Capitol. Is there a picture of him there? But I don't know. Like on the radio, it said that he was there. He was there in his Olympic jacket. Like the audacity. Why would you? Why? Why would you wear your Olympic jacket to something like that? People FaceTiming and going on Facebook Live. Ugh. To think that so many people are willing. So many people are willing to go in and take someone's life like that, or multiple people's lives. It's sickening, you know? And then, of course, they said 5 people died. A guy later succumbed to his injuries from being hit with, I think they said, a fire extinguisher. Are you serious? Like, why? Now, I haven't watched all the videos. I'm pretty sure there's probably a video out there showing someone getting beaten down. I'm sure if you guys know of a video, link it. Now, I don't want it to be graphic. I don't want to watch anything with blood and all that. But, like this, I'm glad that they blurred the dude out, the person out when he got shot. Was he one of the people that died? I don't know. But he dropped. Just like he has a gun. And like, in that instance, that was self-defense. Because he is in somewhere. You're trying to break in. That's like you and your child. Depending on the state that you live in. Of course, if you're at home and someone's kicking in your door, you know, bang. Now, in some states, some states are just atrocious when it comes to these rules. Like if someone's kicking in your door and they're breaking in, if you shoot them and kill them or something, you'll be arrested because you have to be equal in how you defend yourself. Like if they don't have a gun, then you're not supposed to. Weird, right? Especially what if you're elderly? Like I know where I'm from, these dudes were breaking into houses, and now where I'm from, you can defend yourself. Okay, it's in the South. They kicked the elderly couple, kicked the door in. Old man took his shotgun, blew the dude right back up, blew the guy right out of the door, you know, or window, wherever he was, killed him, and that was that. But this kind of, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to say. To think that all this could happen. For what? Because someone didn't want to concede defeat? Because of one man's ego? One man's pride? For what? Why? Just what's done, like once the election was over, what's done is done. Why not move on and wait till the next, 4 years and rerun? But he didn't want to do that, So now people have lost their lives because he didn't want to give a concession speech. He didn't want to concede and, let things take their place, let order take its place, and then, 4 years afterwards, run again. And now we have to deal with all of this. And I'm kind of just rambling on because I really don't know. After that person got shot, I'm just going to cut the video here because I don't know what to... That has me shook up a little bit, I wasn't expecting that. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that. Sorry, guys. My camera cut off on me. Again, it can only record for so long and then it'll shut itself off. But where I left off at, if you like my reaction to the video, leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Like, share, and subscribe. Definitely make a comment. I want to hear what you guys' thoughts are about this whole situation here, about the Capitol, and the guy running through with the did they say police quality zip top like thing? How did he get them? You just can't go to a store and buy them, right? how did he even get a hold of something like that? If officers use them, how? Someone let me know in the comments. How can a person get access to something like that? This shouldn't even be possible, right? But it is. To restrain someone, like, but yeah, leave that comment, share, like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video.